My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually, I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. Now, this is Lizzo's response to the allegations made by her dancers and everyone else.
I came from Jesus.
Today's word is reciprocity. Reciprocity. Don't ask me to do a damn thing that you wouldn't do for me.
That you saw at a live sex show. Please tell me everything about the sex show.
It was people fucking, man. But I'm trying to go to the show where you eat the banana out the pussy. Which one is that?
Speaks up because they're so scared for their jobs. I was terrified for my job.
So if there's anything that I can do in my power to ensure that dancers or singers or whoever decides to work with her don't have to go through that same experience, I'm gonna do that.
And I don't talk shit about you on the
As I dig into the details of this lawsuit against Lizzo, Lizzo's production company, and the captain of the dance squad, there are two overarching themes that carry out throughout this entire complaint. One, the captain of the dance squad, Shirlene Quigley, allegedly was extremely pushy about her religious beliefs to the point that it made the other dancers extremely uncomfortable. And in addition to this pushy religious behavior, because she was their supervisor, there were times that she was allegedly acting very inappropriate and it went unchecked because she was their supervisor. And two, it seems that Lizzo's biggest mistake was blurring that line between, employer, employee, and friends. Some of the allegations in this lawsuit are that Lizzo or associates of Lizzo would invite the dancers to strip clubs and there would be performers shooting bananas out of their hoo-has and the dancers would catch them, or they'd be asked to eat a banana out of places on the performers. All behavior that an employer should not be engaging in with their employee. That is reserved for your closest ride or die friends. Also, what's interesting as reading through this lawsuit is, we know Lizzo obviously as a celebrity, an online celebrity, and that's all we know about her. And it's hard to sometimes separate what is the real person versus what is the persona, because we don't know that. So for instance, one of the claims is about assault, and one of the dancers talked about how they confronted Lizzo after they didn't like how one of the other dancers was fired, and allegedly Lizzo got really mad, cracked her knuckles, balled up her fists, and that allegedly, there was going to be an altercation if one of the other dancers hadn't, broken it up. And what the dancer alleges is that as Lizzo was leaving the room, she threw up her middle fingers and yelled, "Bye, bitch." Now, we've all seen the viral videos of, Lizzo doing that. So it's easy for us to believe that could happen. But then it's also would an employer do this to an employee? It just seems so insane. But I think ultimately this is going to come down to just proof of what was reported and what was ignored by management. Another of the allegations made in this suit is that there was, a bus driver and, one of the dancers brushed past him and he said something like, "Oh, you can back that thing on up close to me." And they allegedly made complaints to the management team about how there was inappropriate behavior, but nothing was done. So if there was people at the top that were getting complaints and nothing was being done, this is where they're going to have real issues. Also, I want to address the fat shaming and body shaming that was being talked about, because obviously that was the most shocking part of the allegations that were coming out. Now, it's not included in the actual lawsuit because fat shaming isn't illegal, so they're not suing for that, but they do talk about it in the lawsuit. So there were no instances of people, calling other people fat or anything like that. That didn't go down. But what happened is one of the dancers said that like she had been putting on weight and she noticed it and felt like that management and Lizzo noticed it and that they were inferring that, you know, some of her issues could be related to that weight gain, but they never said it. It was all inferred. And then another allegation is that after one of the other dancers got fired is that Lizzo, you know, said, you know, weight gain could be cause for termination. And the dancer alleges that she looked right at her and felt she was talking specifically about her. And while I've, you know, heard of like weight gain being cause for termination, it's usually at a place like Hooters where you have to wear the specific uniforms. So I do think it was surprising, you know, to hear that allegedly weight gain could be cause for termination in this instance. But again, we have to hear the other side of the story. There will be responses to this complaint. And so, you know, maybe we'll see the bigger picture, but overall it's still just really,
Hey, hello everyone. I hope all is well. I really do. Because listen, frankly, I do believe that this is Lizzo's time to be very famous. Extremely famous. A fame that I don't think she is going to revel in. And you know what I do believe as well? Lizzo has been treating those women the way she thinks she has been treated. Okay, I do believe that. And I also believe that if you were to give Lizzo the opportunity, I mean her management and whomever, her team, if you were to give her the opportunity to choose dancers, there is no way she would choose those plus size dancers. Because I do believe that there is also some amount of self-loathing coming from Lizzo. Yeah, that's my opinion. I can feel it from the things she says. The interview that she did with the people in Amsterdam, it was like cringy. It was like she was trying to fit in. The things she was saying. Lizzo feels that she is not accepted, and this is her way of acting out on people she believes she has the authority. So why not? She's doing to people what she thinks has been done to her. The statement she issued is like because she's speaking about morals and respectability and all that. But she's in an interview. And she's talking about seeing people in Amsterdam and what she wanted to do with the bananas. Listen. You cannot make yourself a fool in public, act a certain way, and then want people to turn the other way, pretending that you just didn't do that. What is that? You're acting in this way. You're acting like you're so oversexed and you have this banana fetish. And you're so excited about being in Amsterdam. That is why I said she wanted to fit in. So why now you're trying to say that even if these allegations are untrue? So, ma'am, your actions prior to these allegations being made against you speaks volumes. What do you expect people to believe? You uttered these words. You uttered these sentiments. So you honestly believe that people would just sit back and say, no, that was just a persona. She was just in that moment and she did not really believe the things she was saying in public. Utter nonsense. Now it is perplexing to some that Lizzo would actually exhibit these types of behaviors, especially the part where it is alleged that she fat shamed the girls. But I can actually envision that happening. I can. Because I do believe that she plays a role. It's a persona. Also do not think she's as happy as she wants people to believe. And, you know, she has no care about what people says about her. I don't believe that. Lizzo might actually be really tormented and extremely unhappy. Especially with being a big girl. So she lashes out at those she sees herself in. Because I do believe if she, like I said, if she had the opportunity to do things differently, she would choose different women to dance for her. Frankly, Lizzo does not appear to be happy in the skin she's in. So this sexually explicit side of her is kind of like making her the cool girl, you know? She wants to be seen as cool. She wants to be accepted. Because listen, if someone calls her names or whatever, she cries. The slightest thing she cries. Sometimes she does remind me of Cardi B. She cries. Yes, they put on this persona of, you know, being nonchalant, you know, like they don't care. But it bothers them because they're not really happy with who they are. It's like someone who repeatedly says, oh, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love the skin I'm in, I love. If you do, you don't have to repeat it, because repeating it will give the impression that you're trying to reassure yourself of what you're trying to assure people of. Therein lies the disconnect and the contradictions. So Lizzo's alleged lewd and obnoxious behavior, to me, is a facade. It is masking who she is, who she genuinely is. And I don't believe she's a happy person. Not at this point.
I think we have to have a serious conversation about celebrities and the things they do, because I don't know why everyone gets really surprised when celebrities are found out to not be pretty good, not being good people in general. Of course, it's jarring when you find out a celebrity that you love is a weird person or they do strange things, because like, this isn't normal. But also at the same time, they're celebrities and we really don't know who these people truly are, other than what they perceive, like what they show us in like public. So it turns out Lizzo is a bit of a strange person. Maybe that's a little loose in terms. But it looks like overall she is not a very good person if any of this stuff becomes true. Again, we don't know. Obviously we don't know if any of this stuff is truly true, but I wouldn't be surprised. And that's not me saying that because it's like Lizzo. That's me saying it because she's a celebrity. We keep putting celebrities on pedestals when we shouldn't, because they're normal people with a ton of money. And that's not a good thing.
Said there, I wholeheartedly agree with. I have said this before. People need to stop putting so much trust and faith in these people who are performers. They have their lives as well, and they are human. To believe that the pressure these people put them under is unfair. It is unfair. Find yourself. Do your introspection, self-discovery. Stop looking on the outside for self-fulfillment. It will make you happy every time, because these people are going to show their true selves, whether it's something they do intentionally or not. You will eventually know who they are if it's a persona, and then you'll be disappointed if it does not match up with what or who you think they were. You need to stop it. Now, the religious fanaticism with one of her people, that is another issue, because people express because of their beliefs, and it doesn't have to be understood by the multitude. That is why I always say there's a reason for the personality, and not for it being called personality and not peopleality, because it doesn't need a group consensus. I am sure that Lizzo must have dealt with that, or even if she did not, well, these are the consequences she has to face. But in all fairness, you can say, okay, well, this was the woman who was there to ensure the girls did what they had to do, and then she was just pushing this thing on them, and it was inappropriate. Well, then that was still on Lizzo. Did Lizzo know this and just turn a blind eye? Well, then, like I said, there are consequences to those things. But the more serious allegations is what has caught my attention. Lizzo seemingly has a banana fetish. Yeah, okay. People have all types of fetishes. Lizzo's is bananas. But I do believe that is also masking a deeper issue. It is a camouflage for her true feelings, or how she really does see herself. So she comes out sexually explicit. Might very well be within her comfort zone, because your comfort zone is supposed to be a temporary place. But for some people, it's extensive, it's long term. Anyway, I think that she exercised her authority over these women because she had the ability to do so. And I can actually see these women complying. You comply, then complain. I can actually see them complying out of fear of losing their jobs. Fear cripples you. So some of them might have been crippled by fear of losing their jobs. To the outsider, there might be a simpler explanation. Oh, why didn't you just say I'm not doing this? Or why didn't you stand up to her? Now, you hear one of those videos where someone complained about something and Lizzo balled her fist and she was acting very, like she was annoyed, and someone said that they felt like she was going to engage physically with the person. Well, those are all assumptions. But there's a perception. behind what she did, behind her actions. So, listen, this is a big old mess that Lizzo has found herself in. It is a mess. I do like Lizzo, but I think she's talented and tormented, which usually goes hand in glove with these artists. I think gives them a numbing effect and gives them that freedom and license to behave in a certain way, which makes me adamant about not being in character. I don't believe people are ever out in character to get out of character. As people, and as women especially, our feminine allows us to be both dark and light. We have a dark side, and we have the side that might be more socially conforming. But as women, I do believe that it's important and necessary for you to identify this and to understand that it's important that you embrace every aspect of who you are. As women, that dark feminine energy is in our DNA. We all can be that person. We all can be whomever we want to be. But we have to realize that this is a part of us, and don't think that you can just shed that aspect of who you are. Listen, in reality, it makes it easier on your psyche. Because when things like this happens, you wouldn't be that disappointed and, flabbergasted. Because you would understand human nature, whether it's a woman or you would understand human nature and understand that we're all susceptible to these things happening in our lives. Things that we might create or those things that just happen, But for those things that we control, understand that it's all a part of us. It is a part of what makes you a whole person. So, Lizzo, I don't know how this will all turn out, but from everything that we have been hearing, this has just begun. So let's just see where this goes. But sadly, I don't think that this is the worst we have heard. It's just my opinion.
I said what I said.
Now, get into the comment section and ruffle some feathers, respectfully. And as always, stay safe and be self-aware, and subscribe for more snippets of wisdom and real talk. See you in the next video.